Let us discuss quantitative estimation of elements using Curious method. This method can be used to estimate percentage weights of sulfur, phosphorus and halogens. Curious method can be used to determine percentage weight of sulfur, phosphorus and halogens like chlorine, bromine and iodine. So let us discuss one by one how to determine sulfur first. Analysis of sulfur. Quantitative analysis of sulfur using Curious method. In this method, they used to take an organic compound which is having sulfur and it used to be treated with fuming nitric acid and it is having fuming nitric acid or sodium peroxide in it. Now the sample should be added to this, and when it is heated with nitric acid, if your compound is having organic compound having sulfur is treated with fuming nitric acid, concentrated nitric acid or sodium peroxide. When it is treated with this, the sulfur that is present in the compound used to be converted into sulfuric acid. This is the first reaction. Sulfur used to be converted into sulfuric acid. In addition to the nitric acid, to the same test tube, barium chloride used to be added. Barium chloride. So when barium chloride is added to that, after forming sulfate H2SO4, sulfur is now in the form of sulfate ion. Immediately it undergoes reaction with barium chloride. It replaces chlorine and joins with barium and forms barium sulfate. Barium sulfate is a precipitate. It will precipitate as well as it will also form HCl. So barium sulfate precipitate used to be formed during this method. This is a simple process how to convert sulfur to barium sulfate. In the first step, you have to take organic compound. It should be treated with fuming nitric acid so that your sulfur is converted to sulfuric acid. Now sulfuric acid is going to be reacted with barium chloride and is forming barium sulfate as a precipitate. Now take the barium sulfate and find its weight. So now we know the weight of barium sulfate. So in this total method, what happened? Sulfur of your present in your compound is converted to barium sulfate. Sulfur is converted to barium sulfate, and we know the atomic weight of sulfur is 32 and gram molecular weight of barium sulfate is 233. And what else you know? You know the weight of barium sulfate. From the above experiment we determined this, and as well as you know the initial organic compound weight also, you know W also of organic compound. Now how can I determine percentage weight of sulfur? Percentage weight of sulfur is equal to very easy. Take the atomic weight of sulfur to that of gram molecular weight of barium sulfate multiplied by weight of barium sulfate to that of weight of organic compound and multiply with 100. So this is a simple formula that we can use to determine percentage weight of sulfur. This is the formula. Okay students, so this is the process how a sulfur that is present in your compound is converted to barium sulfate. After that you have to filter this barium sulfate and you have to weigh it and find its weight. That weight you just substitute in this equation. Initially you know how much organic compound you took and you can determine percentage weight of sulfur in any organic compound easily. Okay, that's all about how to determine sulfur. Now let us discuss how to determine phosphorus. Second one, phosphorus using Curious method. Same method we are using for determination of percentage weight of sulfur and halogens. So now let us discuss how to determine phosphorus weight using Carrier's method. In this method, what they used to take is, again they will take the sample and it should be digested with nitric acid. Means what? First step, let us see the process, how the process will be, and then I will give you formula. First, take an organic compound which is containing phosphorus. Take organic compound. Then what you have to do? You have to treat this organic compound with nitric acid or sodium peroxide. So this organic compound is having phosphorus in it. Then how the phosphorus used to be converted? In this case, it used to be converted into phosphoric acid. Okay. In the first step, it is converted into phosphoric acid. So now, after this, to the same means it used to be taken in a reactant like test tube. Okay, and it is having HNO3 in this, and you added sample to that. When you added sample to this is your sample organic compound. It is converted into H2SO4. Phosphoric acid. Now to the same thing, add ammonium molybdate to this. Okay, so when phosphoric acid is treated with ammonium molybdate, it used to convert into ammonium phosphomolybdate. Okay, it used to convert into yellow color compound, ammonium phosphomolybdate. Now in the third step, this used to be treated with magnesium hydroxide. When it is treated with magnesium hydroxide, it converts into pyrophosphate, magnesium pyrophosphate. Okay, so this is the pyrophosphate is the solid where you can weigh and find its weight. Filter off, dry it and weigh it. Find its weight. So in this process, what we are doing? We are converting phosphorus into pyrophosphate, magnesium pyrophosphate. And we know here there are two phosphorus atoms. Okay, two phosphorus atoms. So what is the gram molecular weight of phosphorus? 31. 31 plus 31, 62. And its molecular weight is, gram molecular weight is 222. Now how can we find percentage weight of phosphorus? Phosphorus is equal to 62 divided by 222 multiplied by weight of pyrophosphate. Weight of pyrophosphate to that of weight of organic compound. This is W. Weight of organic compound should be multiplied with 100. So use this formula, just substitute, and this how much weight of organic compound you took for this process, you know, and weight of pyrophosphate is obtained by doing this process, and substitute those values in this equation and you can estimate percentage weight of phosphorus easily. Okay, so that's all about second one, how to determine phosphorus using Carrier's method. Next, how can we determine halogens using Carrier's method? Third one, how to determine quantitatively halogens using Carrier's method. Let us see. I will explain very easily halogens using. So what halogens we can estimate? We can estimate chlorine, we can estimate bromine, and we can estimate even iodine using this method. The process is same. I am going to explain the process here. Take the organic compound and treat the organic compound with HNO3 plus AgNO3, silver nitrate. So this is a solution of HNO3 plus AgNO3. Now place your organic compound into this. Then what happens when chlorine is present in the organic compound? Chlorine will undergo reaction with silver nitrate and converts into silver chloride which is a precipitate. Means what? Here chlorine is converting to silver chloride. We know chlorine atomic weight is 35.5 and silver chloride is 143.5. Okay. Plus in addition to this you may get, it will first convert, chlorine is to converts into HCl when treated with HNO3. Then it will release HCl again, HNO3. Now, how to find percentage weight of chlorine? Percentage weight of chlorine is equal to 35.5 divided by 143.5. And what you got here? You got the weight of silver chloride can be calculated because it is a precipitate. You can filter it off, dry it and weigh it. So weight of silver chloride divided by weight of the organic compound that you took initially multiplied by 100. This is the formula that we use for the determination of weight of chlorine. Similarly, if I take bromine, your organic compound when treated with HNO3, if the bromine is present in this, it used to converts into HBr, hydrogen bromide. Furtherly, this undergo reaction with silver nitrate and converts into silver bromide. It is a precipitate by leaving HNO3. Now, what we did in this case? In this case, bromine that is present in the compound is converted into silver bromide. And you just weigh this sample, find the weight of silver bromide, filter it and weigh it. So we know the atomic weight of bromine is 80 and silver bromide is 188. So what is the formula for that? Percentage weight of bromine is equal to 80 divided by 188 multiplied by weight of silver bromide that you got after doing this experiment and weight of the organic compound that you took for this process initially, and multiply with 100, which is a percentage conversion factor. Use this formula to calculate iodine, percentage of bromine. Now let us discuss the last one, how to calculate percentage weight of iodine. In the same process, organic compound is treated with HNO3 first. When it is treated with HNO3, this iodine that present will be converting into hydroiodic acid, and hydroiodic acid furtherly on treating with, because it is already present there, after convert HI, I will be converted into minus. So now it will be forming silver iodide precipitate by leaving HNO3 acid. So finally what happened in this process? Iodine present in the organic compound is converted into silver iodide. So silver iodide is a precipitate. Filter the precipitate and find its weight of silver iodide. Now how can I write the formula? Percentage weight of iodine is equal to, what is the atomic weight of iodine? 127, and this is 235. So 127 divided by 235 multiplied by weight of silver iodide to that of weight of organic compound. This is W. Weight of organic compound should be multiplied with 100 to convert into percentage. That's all. So in this way you can determine the percentage weight of all the three halides: chlorine, bromine and iodine. The process is same, but the product forming the precipitate is different. In case of chlorine, it is forming silver chloride. In case of bromine, it is forming silver bromide. In case of iodine, it is forming silver iodide. Okay. So in this way, by using Kay's method, we can determine sulfur, phosphorus, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Thank you for watching. If you like, please subscribe to my channel.